Is Deshaun Watson, as we know him today, that much of a needle mover for this Cleveland Browns team? Does he move the needle that much for them winning what 4 games this year to winning 8, 9, 10 set? Because if the answer is no, then he's already a castaway.
But let me,
I need to invest in my young quarterback that I see for the future anyway.
Can I put this in your head? That's a good point. But let's say I got these 2 quarterbacks, and how many games you think they'll win with Shador next year?
If he plays week 1, gets all the runs, he's prepped properly for the season, I would say 6, 7. But I think they could realistically win 6.
So 6
I'll
games.
say 6 games. Yeah.
So my thing now with Deshaun Watson, if he ever, I don't know, because he's been bad, goddamn. But what do you think? How many games you think they win with him? Same?
Maybe 8. Maybe he moves the needle that much.
So let's say this. My thing is, if let's say Deshaun's 1 game more wins or whatever, because he was bad too. At least I'm getting signed on my $46 million.
That part.
Yeah, I forgot it was that much money. That's a lot of money, dude. Think about it though. Put yourself in your situation. All right, if I got to pay this whatever this bill is.
Yeah.
I need to see that. I need to see that.
Hello and welcome to another Sports Spin where we take a sports story and we spin it. I'm Sun-EB7 and thank you for joining. Hope everybody had a great holiday, Valentine's Day, Saturday. Valentine's Day on the weekend is kind of rare. I don't remember it being on the weekend much, but it probably was, Hopefully you guys made the right decisions and everything's all good. So we're back on it. We're back with another Shador. Should Shador be starting? Should he be playing? This time, I love it. I love that conversation. I love the points that they brought up and things that they were talking about. Now, I will say this. I'm not trolling and I'm not grading. But certainly, if I can say what somebody didn't do well, I can certainly say what they did. And they did this. This one was well. I really liked what they did on SPEAKEASY on this one. They brought up some really good points, and their viewpoints weren't shocking, but they explained. I'm big on how do I learn from you? Because if I ain't learning nothing, I ain't watching. And they were explaining some things that you have to consider when you talk about Shador starting for the Cleveland Browns. And it was some very good points, including the third. I don't know his name, but the third personality on there, he was challenging him. Hey, what about this? Why wouldn't you do it this way, right? So this was really good. I really enjoyed it. Now, whether they care or not, it's my turn, and I'm not gonna go too far from what they were saying because they bring up some valid points. You got a guy worth $46 million. What I will say is that same guy was there and he was available in game 4 of last year. They did not play him. I feel like there's another plan here that everybody's missing. Now, I could be wrong, but I remember reading somewhere where there's a clause in Deshaun's contract where if they deem him, basically, if he doesn't live up to the contract, meaning he's not playing and he got this guaranteed contract, they can get out of it and get their insurance. He's insured, by which if they deem him no good, then they can get rid of him and they get their money. Now, I don't know exactly how, I don't know if I'm saying it exactly how it was explained, but that might someone might look into that and see if that's a valid deal there. The other thing I think is because they're right, $46 million is a lot of money, and I got a guy for 4.6 and I got a guy for 46. Yeah, you need meeny money. Here's the thing. Here's a third thing you can do. Now I'm about to put some stuff in the game. Why not keep Gabriel and make him number 2? Make Deshaun number 1. Trade Shador. Trade him. Get rid of him. You see? Because that's an option. He ain't but $4.6 million. I bet you can get a first round for him. Trade him to a team that needs him. You don't need all that quarterback controversy crap. You can't play with one at a time. You wouldn't want, okay, you had Steve Young sitting behind Joe Montana, right? Can you imagine what that front office was going through with that setup? You had Terrell Owens sitting behind Jerry Rice. See, these are things that sound from the outside with us looking. It sounds like a dream. I got Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens. Ain't but one ball. It's not a dream. Actually, you want one of them out because he's got to go somewhere where he can play. Same thing with Young. They had to push Montana. Montana wasn't ready to go, but they had to push him because Young was younger. And I don't think they was ready. And what Montana did in Kansas City, let him know you shouldn't have moved on from Montana. Young was great. He was gonna be great. And from a business standpoint, yeah, you take the younger guy so you can have more years. I think I'd have kept Montana. And I would have traded Young knowing that I'm gonna see him again because he's gonna be great. That's how I would have thought of it. But anyway, yeah, keep Gabriel at number 2. Get Deshaun. Now you have no more controversy. No one's gonna put Gabriel up with Deshaun. And when Deshaun is hurt, Gabriel can play. And you're good. Shador somewhere else where they don't really have a controversy and they probably treat him like he's a good quarterback and they probably let him play and he probably showed the league why you shouldn't have did what you did. But that's all beside the point. That's another option. I would look into that. And I think all sides would be happy. And I kind of just explained that. And so the question is, what team would you trade him to? What team do you think he could go to where they could use him, where he could make the team better? Who needs a quarterback? And who should he choose? That would be the question I have for you. Leave it in the comments if you dare. Now, I'm saying that with the understanding that there is no way Barry will let Shador off that door. He ain't gonna do it. He orchestrated things so this can happen. he been in the background pulling strings the whole time. He ain't about to let him out the door. But I was just saying that's an option and you could do that, but he ain't gonna do it. Even though you got a $46 million man there, there is another plan in there and it's intriguing. I want to see what they do with that. Because they do. They have a $46 million problem. And no one is going to take it. He couldn't trade Deshaun to Little League. Nobody's taking that contract. That was a bad one. But it wasn't like that when it was first made. Everybody agreed with it when he first did it. That trade was like a genius move until it wasn't. No one saw coming. Well, there's some people knew. There's some people that knew what Deshaun had going on. Matter of fact, it started in Houston. It didn't start in Cleveland. Just before he got traded, there were some cases. Yeah, but nobody knew it was going to blow up to 40-something. He had more cases than touchdowns. So nobody saw that coming. Otherwise, it would have been a great trade. Because like Shady said, he was a top quarterback in the league. And then all of a sudden, he wasn't. And I can imagine all that pressure from all them cases and all that stuff beat you down and you can't play. So I suspect some other things happen in that. But hey, it's a suspicion on my part, so I won't worry about it. I won't talk about it. But Deshaun has not played ball in 2-3 years. They were talking about how many games do you think he'll win because, he's that much better, but yada, yada, yada. Here's the thing. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. If you sit for two years, when you come back, it's going to take you a while to get back into play. You're not going to come back and be old Deshaun. He ain't going to happen. He might show flashes of it in the first couple games, but reality will kick in. So, in my opinion, he wouldn't win no more games than Shador. And I give Shador more than 6 games. Here's why I give Shador more than 6 games. we are not realizing that one game, he had it. Defense lost it for him. As good as that defense has played, the game that they lost by 3, Shedeur had brought them back, and then they let them drive down and kick a field goal. Otherwise, they could have won. There's 2 games that they could have won that they didn't win. So if you take those 2 games and add them to the 3 games he won, he's 5-7. Are you having this conversation if you look at it at 5-7? I know that a win is a win and a loss is a loss. I get that. But it takes a team. And will that team play for Deshaun? Deshaun been sitting. What does the team want? I'm not talking about the offensive lineman. I hope they get rid of every one of them except, no, there's one. There's one. They benched him because he was trying to defend his quarterback. They benched him because he was trying to defend him. But every one of them, all the rest of them, I hope they send them somewhere they can't find their way back. If you play a team sport and you have favorites and your job is to protect your quarterback and you only protect the ones you like, then you're not a professional. You're emotional. You're weak. You should not be playing. Yeah, you should not be. You protect every quarterback that gets back there because your job is to protect quarterbacks, not pick them. I'm just saying. And so with that, I'll end with this. This is going to be the most subject talked about in the offseason. You just turn your TV, turn your media off because it's going to be talked about all season. And again, the Browns will be the most watched preseason in the league because they got Deshaun sitting there. They got Gabriel sitting there. They got Shedeur sitting there. Buckle up. It's going to be a good one. All right. Well, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, just remember, this sports story has been spun.